Good evening and welcome to episode 2 of my podcast Approach or Die, the podcast that inspires and motivates anyone out there to become more confident, raise your self-esteem by chatting to random strangers, aka cold approaching. I hope you've had the best day. Maybe you found some money on the floor, maybe you got a promotion, maybe you got a tax rebate, one of them. So I'm really excited because we've got the beginner's guide finally coming out. This is part 1. There's going to be a few in this series to help you get motivated to start today. I already got some really good feedback from the last one. I'm so happy that a couple of my friends and a couple random people messaged saying that it motivated them. One of my friends managed to get his first ever approaches in, and on 2 out of the 3 he exchanged contact details, and one of them he went on a great date. I'm so happy for him. Want more of that from this? Stick around to the end if you want to find out how to win some free coaching from myself. Let's get into it. In this one, we're going to start real basic. I want to get the fundamentals down with you. And just like when you're making a top quality recipe and you're becoming a high level chef, you might start experimenting with exactly how many seconds on each thing, putting all the different ingredients in. You've got to start with the fundamentals. Make an omelette, cracking some eggs, basic stuff. Still super satisfying when you do it for the first time. If you remember back in the day when you made your first meal and you were like, ooh, this is a little bit tasty. Well, that's how it can be. If you meet a new friend or lover in the street, you're like, wow, this is actually that simple. You don't have to go through the apps or when you're drunk. You can do it cold approach style. Although it's really scary and you might feel like you're going to die, approach or die, that is what you got to do if you're going to make new connections in your life. Step number 1. When you're walking around every single day, I want you to be very mindful of your posture. Your posture and your eye contact, the way you're walking, you need to stand up so damn straight to catch the attention of potential peoples. Because if you don't, and you're looking down, how I used to always look down every single day, I was so good at reading the pavement. If there was the equivalent of reading tarot cards for pavement, I would be the one at that. However, you're not going to catch anyone's eye if you do that. You need to be looking deep into people's souls when you're walking past. And that doesn't mean you have to be creepy about it. You smile and nod. Smile and nod. If someone doesn't smile back at you, don't care. Move on. You'll see that actually helps you start spreading the vibes. Gets you in better mood, you get a little smile back here and there. And if you have never done a cold approach before and never put your balls on the line in a sober situation, then it's going to help you a lot if your first one is one where you've made eye contact and a girl or guy has already potentially smiled at you. That is super, super important to associate cold approach with success. If you start out and get loads of rejections, you're probably not going to carry on with it. For myself, back in 2014, when I started out, I was really nervous. I'm talking boom, 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 boom. That's my attempt at a heartbeat. That was how hard my heart was beating in my chest when I was walking down Brick Lane in 2014 as a 23-year-old man, if I could call myself a man. And I made eye contact with a girl and I ran back after she walked past because she smiled at me and I said, "Excuse me, you can't look at me like that and not say hello." So ballsy, except I said it in a kind of nervous way. Well, that was a line I'd stolen from someone else that I learned on YouTube. Well, guess what? It worked. She found it quite funny and she started talking to me, this beautiful lady who's a bit older than me and far more confident than me. And a bit of a light chat. She said, "I'm on my way to the bank. Do you want to join me?" I was like, wow, okay, cool. And walked with her. And I learned lesson number 2 in this second part of my first ever approach, because although today I'm going to give you a little roadmap, you need to remember that any lines, pickup lines, anything that involves a flirtation has to be something congruent and unique to you. Concepts can be modified to your personality. If you want to say something like, "You can't look at me like that and not say hello," that is quite ballsy. That's quite unique. I doubt that many people have said that to her before. However, when we're talking about concepts of flirtation, you can't just read them out. You can't just copy someone else's game. I had done just that. Now, the concept that I was trying to follow, or should have been following, was that when people talk about work and someone asks you, what do you do? In general, it can be kind of boring. You might not like your job. Most people don't love talking about their job. Most people don't. I do now, but at the time I didn't. I wasn't enjoying the work that I was doing. The concept was to come up with something unique and funny, potentially complete and utter random bullshit that you have to be gullible to believe, but maybe it creates a bit of banter, a bit back and forth, a little bit of playfulness. Well, I just copied straight out of the book, The Game, Neil Strauss's. I'm a dolphin trainer. Kind of funny, not really that funny. Yeah, I train dolphins. She's like, really? She's like, 2 other people have told me that before, you know. I went completely red, so red, I was so embarrassed. Oh my gosh, that was cringe central. I'll never forget that. Carried it on and we exchanged Facebooks and never talked to her again. But I realized what is possible. Walking with really good posture, making some good eye contact with everyone as I walk past. And what do you know, here and there, you're going to get someone that smiles back and sees your energy. And that's going to give you a little bit of an inch. She might still not want to talk to you. That might be because of how you approach it in terms of your body language, which we're going to talk about in a sec. But in general, that's going to increase your chances of getting a positive approach. But concept number 2 is never steal lines. Make your own ones up. Since then, if I don't want to talk about work and someone asks me what my job is, I'll create anything that I find funny at the time. One of my friends made up, I invent biscuits. I literally create recipes for biscuit companies. You know Hobnobs? Yeah, I created their new chocolate chip with caramel biscuit. And people are like, what? They actually believe it sometimes. It's quite funny. His real job is not that. But it creates a bit of banter and then you can tease with, you know, oh, you believed that, or oh, you got me. Okay, all right, I was chatting shit. I just didn't want to talk about work, but this is my job. And still talk about anything that you do with a bit of passion because you want to come across as interesting, which is concept number 3. So we've got number 1, walk around with great posture, great eye contact. Number 2, go in and use fun, interesting topics when you're having a conversation with someone, but don't steal their lines. Number 3 is talking about things with passion. That is going to help you get more back. You've got to give to receive. So when you're talking to a girl, you have to say something that you find fun or funny or interesting or passionate about so that you can get her interest. I'm going to go in other episodes to the different kinds of stops that you can do with a girl when you're walking on your way, a bar, or when you're on your way to meeting your friends or to the gym or commuting, wherever. You can meet girls or guys when they're stationary, when they're walking, when they're jogging. All depends on your level of confidence. And they all have their pros and cons. For today, I just want to emphasize the main thing when you're approaching a girl is personal space and having some empathy. If a guy is approaching a girl, you're going to be slightly intimidating for her. You don't know if she's really confident or not. She might be a bit shy and you have to give space when you're opening and saying hello. Never tap a girl on her shoulder. Never just jump in the way of someone who's on her way somewhere and you stop her by jumping in front of her to stop her. That is a method that certain coaches teach and I don't like it at all because you're stopping her from doing her day. She's in a rush. She doesn't want to talk to anyone and you physically get in her way, then that could really mess with someone's day. You want to be spreading good vibes and fine, it might work here and there. But you want to do it in the best way possible. And if it works with that, it will definitely work if you give a bit of space to the girl and give her an opportunity to say yes or no. Because concept number 4, rejection is okay. You can never ever control what the girl is feeling on that day. She might have just broken up with her boyfriend and be in the worst mood ever and not want to talk to anyone. Or she might have just broken up with her boyfriend and love to get a compliment and a little flirt. That might make her feel way better. She might be married and still enjoy talking to strangers, or she might be married and just not want to have anything to do with people. In general, I've had a really high success rate with just having conversations that become more platonic because the girl's not interested in anything in terms of a romantic or sexual pursuits. That's fine. Those conversations are going to raise your mood. When you're cold approaching, your confidence is like an energy bar in a video game and you can do things to pump that bar higher and higher. Now let's go over an instructional audio where I show you just how to do that. This is a very simple audio recording where I meet a pretty lady when I was in a good mood. I told her why I was in a good mood, and another reason I was in a great mood is because I was on the phone to such a fun friend. That's what really reduced my anxiety, because I knew that he would be bigging me up and being like, oh, well done for putting yourself out there to do that. When I noticed her, I didn't have any eye contact, but I did have some good posture, and I walked a little bit past her on the side and just gave her a little wave to get her attention from a couple meters away.
Sorry, excuse me. This is like really random. I had a green tea and it made me super confident to like say hello because of caffeine and stuff. So, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You find that funny? I'm semi-serious.
Green tea is like the most random thing.
Do you know it's antioxidants, it's good for the brain, it's super healthy. You seem like a healthy girl.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I am.
A little bit. Oh, cool. What's your name? Hello. It's that was a long pause. You give me a fake name. Like
I can really pronounce it.
I got it in one. Easy.
What's your name?
Roland.
Roland.
You had the best day of your life today. Top 5.
You know what? It was alright.
What are you going to say now I've met you? It's really good.
It's green tea.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's great. What have you been little?
No, I'm going to Sainsbury's for tea, but I like to bring a reasonable bag.
Oh man, imagine they don't let you in.
No, they
They're like, we don't let non-little
They
users.
have to.
Going up to anyone and giving a kind of ridiculous reason why you've got the confidence to say hello does make it fun for you. And that's the whole point of this. It's got to be something that you enjoy doing. And so I do recommend that, as to follow the concept. You can come up with whatever reason you want, and then they'll know your intentions of why you're speaking to them, because you need to be confident to say hello, obviously with the implication that you find them attractive. I said, oh, you look very healthy, which isn't a direct compliment. She could have moved on that with a bit more banter. But yeah, not a bad start to the conversation. Now, if you heard that first opener and thought, whoa, that's too much, I can never imagine myself actually doing that and putting myself out there, it makes me anxious even thinking about it, you need to take a step back and do a couple warm-ups. And by that, I just mean start conversations by asking people for directions, practicing getting an assertive tonality to get their attention, and then leave with a compliment. You need to make sure you don't talk too quickly or too quietly. Here's a quick example.
Are you right, mate? Is this one Broadway, yeah? Yeah. Sweet, man. Thank you. Nice bike, bro.
It's really that simple. Hopefully the compliment will make the other person smile, and it will really help you, especially if you had a long day at work and you just want to get out of your head. Now let's crack on with the original audio.
Yeah, do you know the Little Song? You should check out the song, like YouTube it. It's like called The Little Song. It's about a guy shoplifting in Lidl. It's so funny. Really top.
One day I went to Lidl. I went to shoplift in Lidl. Then I got caught in Lidl. Now I don't go back to Lidl.
Yeah, I'm from Aldgate. Not really around here. I got my vaccine. I know that I'm big and strong, but I was gonna cry like a little baby.
You're actually funny.
You got no fear then. You're laughing at me for having fear.
No, you're
What?
funny. Because like, you're actually making me laugh.
Okay, so she hasn't heard of the Little Song. What a shock. But that really could have got awkward if I went nowhere else. I went back to the basics of just starting talking about my day. I went a little bit ridiculous with it by saying, oh, I'm such a big, strong guy, where in a coat I just look completely normal. But then I say, I'm afraid of needles, like to go to the extreme. And although like she's not bursting out laughing, saying, oh, you're funny, it's a good way to save the conversation from dying. Just talk about your day. Rather than the common beginner mistake that I see my clients regularly when they're just starting out, asking too many questions too early on.
This is good.
Yeah.
I'm not a dancing monkey out here. You make alright. It's your turn to make me laugh then.
I mean, I'm not funny.
You're not at all.
I mean, I am, but I'm not funny on the spot.
Oh, you're humble funny.
Yeah,
You like you bring it
way of
out.
life.
So do you bring it out like it's a serious movie and it's like everyone's like nearly crying, then you just drop something?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. We sold it. Let's go for a drink.
Well, I need to go get groceries.
I'm actually going to watch a movie tonight.
Oh,
So.
what are you going to watch?
Some new movie about a guy and his kid, and he's passed away, so he's like finding a new family for his kid.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like really dramatic, but it's on IMDb. It's like 7 point something.
okay.
So yeah, that's good. But
That's good.
another time, let me take your digits if you remember my name. Mine's
Roland. Yeah.
So there's a couple cool concepts in this quick clip here. basically about qualification. So she said she's not funny, and I was like, really? And when she said, no, I am, but just subtly, then I said, oh, okay, you pull it out. If she just said, no, I'm never funny, then I'm not going to say, oh, that's fine, that's okay. I'm not going to validate something that I think is an important quality, because that would be a classic overly nice, overly agreeable reply, which is actually ultimately not authentic. If she'd have said, no, I'm never funny, then I said, oh, that's a shame. It was nice to meet you. See you later. And she hopefully would be like, I'm joking. Here's a really cool, subtle, but super important thing to remember when you're actually deciding you want to exchange contact details with someone. I didn't say, oh, maybe if you wanted to, we could go for a drink. No, I assumed that she wanted to because we're having a fun conversation. When I realized, okay, she's attractive, she finds me funny, and although she's not giving me loads back, maybe she's just a little bit shy for the first meeting, that's okay. Gave her my phone to put the number in, which is much better than asking her to read it out. The only thing missed out at the end of the recording is I asked what she did for work, asked if she enjoyed it, if it inspired her to get out of bed, which it did, and we had a little hug goodbye, and that was it. A quick note on the body language of this interaction. Shortly after I'd said hello and we were standing still, I noticed she crossed her legs, which means that she's comfortable being there. If one foot's pointing away or she's leaning away, it means she doesn't want to be there. Feet are the most honest part of the body. No foot fetish. So make sure you're keeping half an eye on those feet. Imagine if you're late for something or you don't want to talk to someone and someone just trying to just keep your attention a little bit more. Don't be needy. Say you're in a rush and wrap that conversation up quickly. Last basic body language tip, no hands in pockets from me. I'm gesticulating with my palms out and I do not have my hands in my pockets. Next episode, ladies and gentlemen are going to be looking forward to this one. It's all about attraction. How you can make yourself more attractive besides getting a facelift. I'm going to break down how people manage to bat way above their league and how some people bat way below their league. They might have the best looks in the world and just absolutely struggle when it comes to their dating life. So you don't want to miss it? Like, share, subscribe, put the bell notification on. Every single time one of those things happens, I get a little bit of joy. Oh, and don't think I forgot about the free coaching offer. All you have to do to be eligible is be a beginner level, subscribe, and comment Approach or Die. That's it. And I'm going to pick a random winner to get some free coaching to be on another episode of the Beginner Guide podcast. And that's all, folks. See you in the next one. Peace.